the first time I became personally aware in any experiential sense of the relationship between land and spirit. I was on a personal prayer retreat high in the Cascade Mountains in Oregon, up high enough where it was towards the very, very top of where the road goes. It was early spring, May of 2011, and there was a bit of snow intermingled with, there had been a forest fire, and then pockets of growth. So you had forest fire growth and you had snow. And as I was sitting and laying against a tree, I was reading Richard Twist's book on One Faith, Many Tribes. And as I was laying my head back against the tree to pray, suddenly there was a woodpecker behind me about 500 feet that started pecking. So I continued Our Father. And then in about 10 seconds, another woodpecker in front of me, about 500 feet, started responding to the first woodpecker. And then that followed yet a third one to my left, about 500 feet south, and to my north, about 500 feet, a fourth one entered in. And I was literally surrounded by 4 woodpeckers. I stood, I raised my hands to the sky, and I simply said, Father, how arrogant can I be?
The Duwamish tribe and its stories claim that they were on this planet in this place before the Ice Age. We know that at 600 AD, they have already dug up one of the longhouses at the time. His chief, Seattle, from which Seattle is named, was born of 2 parents. His father was of the tribe of the Issaquah Nation. He was chief. His mother and uncle was the chief of the tribe where he lived in Kent.
My name is Cecile Hansen, and I'm the chair of the Duwamish tribe. I am the great niece of Chief Sealth. He was a very prominent, honored man that when he spoke, they listened and they honored him.
He made peace between these 2 tribes. When the newcomers started coming in, he made peace. Even when they started hurting his people, he says, no, we will keep the peace. Even when they made a treaty of 1855 and they ceded over to the United States territory, 54,000 acres, most of King County, all of Seattle, he said, and they were supposed to get a reservation, supposed to be part of the federal system of renewal of the tribes. They were denied.
Leaders, in their wisdom, decided to agree to the agreement to give up our land, which was 54,000 acres. And then they promised us many things, which they did not fulfill those promises.
We at Seattle City Church of the Nazarene acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Duwamish people, a people that are still here, continuing to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage.
We at Seattle City Church acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Duwamish people, a people that are still here, continuing to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage.
We at Seattle City Church acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of the Duwamish people, a people that are still here and continue to honor and bring light to their ancient heritage.
Is where we probably spent about 15 years of our mission, traveling by what used to be literally World War II Army barracks, and is now just an incredible, stellar federal community. Probably, I would dare say, one of the best in the country. Used to have about 700 here, now has about 1,700 or more. Though it feels far more spacious than it used to, with gardens and open spaces. You're going to see one, if you haven't already, as we're passing a huge pond here in the direction I'll take you. There's also play areas that you're going to see. What it desperately needs is the Church of Christ. It's time for us to re-engage this community. But there was a number of churches and a number of nonprofits all doing Christ's work in different ways. Our philosophy was always to just be with the community. So whatever we're doing, whether it be Bible school or feeding, in terms of just having an open meal, playing baseball, inviting the community to come and join us, et cetera, was always premised on the idea that we were just neighbors and sharing. And, we'll be passing in a few moments the neighborhood house, which is probably the most significant community center here.
The mission of Neighborhood House is to build community and inviting the stranger, creating dialogue, encouraging and celebrating diversity. So Neighborhood House walks alongside individuals and families who are struggling, facing barriers, maybe economic, systemic, cultural barriers to building a life, and offers programs increasing access to housing, health, education, economic opportunity. But while these programs are being carried out, it is done from a place of invitation into this gracious space of compassion and humility and equity.
Because that's really what it's about, is letting people know we see you, we got you, you're safe, let's do this.